Hello, everyone. After a few years of more or less becoming a meme for spending a lot of money and not having the resulting success, as in 2023, for example, they had Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer sign just to end up pitching for other teams in the playoffs. 2024 actually saw a deep run into the playoffs for the Mets, although they fell short to the Dodgers, which everyone fell short to the Dodgers. In the offseason so far, there's been large speculation of Juan Soto joining the team for the 2025 season. So I thought, let's create a lineup with him and without him and see what we think is better. All right, so there's our graphic and some details. This one, let's start with the trades. So this one, as opposed to the other one, so as we see on the top, obviously this is with Soto, where much of your offseason money is going toward his contract. We'll say $45 million AAV. We then, a lot of pitching is gone from the team, so we're going out and trading for Garrett Crochet and Luis Robert. The White Sox, there's what we're giving up. Acuna, Gilbert, Parada, Tidwell. That's 3 position players and a pitcher. And we're putting Robert in center with Taylor backing him up. Taylor can also back up in right if Soto's not playing defense well enough. Generally speaking, though, I think what would happen if this were to happen is either Robert will play well and be healthy, or he won't. So that's why I put Taylor as his backup. Unfortunately, that would mean Soto playing all the games at right, although he is better than Marte defensively, so there is that. And we have Marte as the DH. McNeil is going to be playing some second base now instead of DHing. We sign Gio Urshela, who's played in New York some, with the Yankees, to play third. That improves the infield defense, as well as moving Mark Vientos from third to first. Alvarez stays behind the plate. Bring back Iglesias to play some second. Lindor's obviously there. The thinking here is, if you have Soto, you lose Alonso, that's an upgrade. Have Vientos' defense at first instead of third, that should be an upgrade. Upgrade your third base defense. And then pitching-wise, you traded for Devin Williams. That's Beatty and Mauricio going to Milwaukee. And Jonathan going to St. Louis for Eric Fetty. He'll sit in the 4th spot of the rotation. Crochet will be second. And you have a rotation of Senga, Crochet, Peterson, Fetty, McGill. I think in a lot of ways that's an upgrade from last year. The pen, I wasn't specific on this one, but with Williams, that's your closer, or he could rotate with Edwin Diaz as the closer, and then you just need to have the rest of your arms, really. I think that was about it for this one. And there's the lineup at the bottom. Look at that 1-2 punch of Lindor and Soto. That's crazy. I dropped McNeil down because I think Soto getting his at-bats, still being protected by Vientos and Nimmo, hitting right after Lindor, that makes some sense. Robert's all the way down at 7th. That's a sick lineup. And then with our other option, without, clearly with the first little bullet point, the big deal here is signing Corbin Burns, so that's most of the money that would have gone to Soto. You bring back Minaya as well, and then there's your rotation. So just going over the rotation, we got Burns, Senga, Minaya, Peterson, McGill. Again, that's an upgrade. All respect to Severino. Minaya clearly found something, and New York will want to continue with that, I think. The rest of the team, we again trade for Robert. In this case, it's a little less. It's Mauricio and Parada. I don't think that's too much of a miss. But again, it's not like Robert did anything in 2024. Likewise, because of that, we're bringing back Bader for center field, because the expectation is Robert will either not perform as well or not be able to perform because he's out. Thus, you want Harrison Bader, even if he wasn't great offensively, he's good defensively. In right, similarly, with no Soto, you get Max Kepler to do some of the production, to cover some of the production that he would have done. It was either him or Jesse Winker, and I think Kepler is realistic and probably a better player, specifically on defense and base running wise. And then Taylor is your alternate in right. All of this just means the defense and base and running, athleticism, defense, all of that will be better with the outfield. Stumbling over some words there. And the infield, the big move is, again, moving Vientos to first rather than keeping him on third. You keep Acuna and bring in Willy Adames as the big splash there. Put him at third, have him, he has a good arm, he hits bombs. He's now your cleanup hitter, replacing Alonso in a lot of ways. So actually he's hitting fifth in our simulated little lineup there. But anyway, that's just the depth that this lineup would have. It's pretty crazy. As I said, get through those signings. I put some names for the bullpen since there are so many. Bring back Rayleigh, bring back Ottavino, add Kyle Finnegan, he was with the Nats, Barucki, Chafin, Farmer. Pretty solid bullpen in theory. There's our lineup at the bottom. What's funny, I think, is that a lot of this will depend on what happens with Luis Robert in this scenario. But again, keeping more of your prospects, I do think is a big deal. So you end up keeping Gilbert, you keep Clifford, you keep Acuna. All you really lose is Mauricio. As opposed to in this other one, you lose all of that, plus Beatty. So Beatty's still around, actually. So if Adames needs a backup, that's Beatty in this case, because we didn't trade Beatty. I think overall, there's more depth. The offense is not quite as good, obviously, because Juan Soto is generational. But overall, I do think this team is actually better. And this gets us to our last slide. These are my opinions here. Offense, like I just said, Soto is inevitably going to be better. But defensively, he's a liability. And you also have Marte for another year, unless you get rid of him and have Soto be your DH. So whoever is going to be in right in that scenario compared to, I said Kepler and Taylor, that's going to be a downgrade because those two are elite defensively, or at least above average as opposed to below average with Marte or Soto. Pitching, the bullpen, I would probably say with, but again, you could still, without, get Devin Williams. Overall, though, the staff with Burns and Minaya, that's going to be inherently better. Fetty, he's okay. He's probably better than some other guys you could bring in and cheaper than bringing back Severino, which is why I did that. And you wouldn't have to give up much because he only has a year. He's a solid pitcher. And Crochet, you're not really sure what you're getting from him, which is sort of the question mark. He is way cheaper than Burns, though. So that's kind of the trade-off. You're looking at, instead of $55 million, because it was 20 for Minaya, right? Yeah, 20 for Minaya and 35 for Burns. Instead of $55 million, it's about 3 for Crochet and then maybe 8 for Fetty. So it's more like 11. That offsets much of the Soto cost. I mean, the whole cost, really. So it's just a matter of opinion. I think that when we look at the athleticism goes with defense in a way. I think that's pretty obvious. But again, this goes back to Soto and Marte, where when we have Soto and Marte in this lineup, along with, I would say, McNeil, Alvarez, to an extent, Urshela, there's not too much athleticism there. Vientos as well, he's kind of a sturdier guy. Compare that to And again, a lot of this comes back to Robert with both these scenarios, which is kind of why I included him in both. If Robert's there, that's a at least above average, if not elite athlete. So adding Kepler, having Acuna left, Adames not the most athletic, but makes up for it with his bat. His arm's good. So yeah, what do you guys think? Obviously, sticking it to the Yankees, bringing in Soto. That would definitely be a boost. Do we want Burns? Do we want Crochet? I think there's a decent balance in all these moves I made, so it's not some drastic, this one's way better. It's a matter of opinion, I think. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.